Hi, so we're just doing a video for the Mitchelstown Driving Test route. As you leave the test centre, you'll always turn right because there's nothing really to the left-hand side, and right takes you in towards the town. Today's the first day it's open, so we've followed all the testers, just going to show that our routes are genuine and we won't just use AI like some apps do. So all the routes here have been used previously today. So we're going to show you the most common one now. To go in towards town, you're taking a left, but it's kind of the second exit because the first exit is in towards the hotel. So you have to stay in the left lane, but don't indicate because otherwise people think you get into the hotel. And indicate left just after the hotel, and then this brings us in towards town. So there's very few estates in Mitchelstown that you can do the manoeuvres in. The first one is on the left hand side, just a bit further on. So it's just this left turn here. So the very first estate we come to, we quite often use this for the turnabout or the reverse from the corner. So we're just going to turn left in here, and we're going to take an immediate left as well into this part of the road. I can see a car come down, so I have to just go slow to give him time to finish his overtaking. And then if it's quiet, they'll do the reverse on this part of the road, but at the moment there's a lot of parked cars, so they'll most likely get you to go up and maybe turn left and do the turnabout there, or turn right and do the turnabout at the top here. So it's a pretty decent sized road for the turnabout. So we're just going to stop and then do the turnabout very quickly. So for the turnabout, more people get marked down for observation than they do for the manoeuvre itself. So make sure each time before you move off, you're doing plenty of observation. And then you don't really need to indicate left here because you can't go straight and the road goes left anyway. So it's not really necessary to indicate. You can indicate if you want to, but it isn't necessary. And we're going to be taking a right. You could get you to turn left and do the reverse around the corner up at the next corner, or first we're just going to turn right and then turn left here, which brings us in towards the town. So we have all the routes for the test centre created. All we need to do now is to build them and then test them in the app. So hopefully we'll have all the Mitchelstown driving test routes live on the Irish test routes app within the next couple of weeks. It's a long process of testing them, creating them and testing them, which is why they won't be up straight away. We're going to turn left at the traffic lights. Quite often they might get you to turn right as well. But the more difficult route, which I'm showing you now, is the left turn. So probably the biggest feature of Mitchelstown is there's quite a lot of speed bumps and there's quite a lot of pedestrian crossings, so you just have to be really aware of that. It's kind of a small enough town for a test centre, because there's only a couple of estates where you can do the manoeuvres in, they'll often be used, and then it's just a matter of whatever variation between roads linking them up the tester might choose. So say here's a big speed bump, and we're just going to keep going straight. We're going to go straight out the whole way here till we come to a set of lights, and then we're going to turn right. We're going to be taking this next right turn. It's actually, there's a pedestrian crossing just before the turn, so it's not actually a traffic light junction, it's just there happens to be a pedestrian crossing before it. And there's nothing coming, so look in the right more, but have a good look into this road as well, just to make sure it's clear. And we're going to keep going straight ahead. The may well ask you to do the hill start on a road like this. So far it's not too bad. Like you're driving along a lot of straight roads. There's not too many hazards or parked cars to deal with, but it does change as the as the as the route goes on. So we follow the whole way down towards the end of this road, and then as we come back in towards town, they bring a lot of hazards into it. So these here sort of speed bumps. For speed bumps, it depends on what size they are and what size your car is. For these ones, they're made of tarmac, they're not too big, so I can quite easily go for them in third gear. Some of the more severe ones, you have to slow down and go into second gear for them. Also with today, it's very, very bright. Sun's in my house, it's maybe a bit hard to see in the video. So it's a wee bit harder to see I imagine coming down here, if there's road markings and if it's wet and sunny, it'd be very hard to see these speed bumps, so you just have to be very careful for them. So at the end of this road, we're going to be turning right. So we're turning right at the cemetery. It's very, very hard to see, so I had to kind of creep out until I could see there's a car coming down. He's now turning in, so it's okay to go. I'm going to go straight ahead. So then the next road we go to, which is where we do the maneuvers, is called Abbey View. Just in here. It's important to have a really good look into the road before we turn. So in the first estate we went to, we could have done the reverse of the turnabout, and same for this one. We could quite easily do the reverse of the turnabout. We could do the reverse of the very first corner there, which is quite severe, or more likely at the second one. And it's a bit of a funny, if you look at the curb, like it's not a straight curb, so you kind of pull up past it, and then look at all our car comes, you just have to wait. Just move forward a wee bit for him to create more space. And then there's another car on the right hand side. So I'm just waiting until the whole thing is cleared before I begin to move off. So if there's any car comes within 2 or 3 car lengths, just stop until they're gone, then move off. And there's another car coming, so you can just because there's a car coming, I just went out of reverse, because otherwise if they see my reverse light, they might stop and let me go, and it becomes confusing. Whereas by going out of reverse, the light's off, so they heels, and now they'll just overtake. So I'm going to go now, looking all around before I go, and it's a very, very sharp corner. So as I get to the corner, I'm locking it left now. So I've got a full lock. I'm going to keep looking around over both shoulders, and then just have to keep going, look at my left mirror now, and it's now parallel, so straighten up the steering wheel, and then just straight back until he says to stop. So it's quite a sharp turn, that, so you would need to get the full lock on. If you're practicing it on your own, I would say to go back, and then there's a couple of trees on both sides, and just line up the front of your car or your wing mirror with one of them, and just know when to lock the steering wheel to the left. And if you lock it to the left, it'll bring you the whole way around. Then it's just a case of stopping as soon as the car is parallel. So we're turning right out of here, and the roads all get a bit more narrow from this point onwards. Again, apologies, just we're heading into the sun, so it may not be completely clear. So at the very end of this road, we're going to be taking a right turn. The turn right, we're just heading back along the road which we were on. Yeah, you can see the church ahead. And then like these speed bumps are quite big, so you just have to slow well down for them. And we're going to go on down towards the traffic lights, but at the traffic lights we're going to keep going straight ahead. So as I was saying, hopefully we'll have all the routes for the Mitchelstown Driving Test Centre up on the Irish Test Routes app within the next couple of weeks. If you download it from Apple or Play Store, and you just go into the car, select the route you want, and then it'll guide you around the whole test route using GPS. So it'll be similar to the Google Maps, and it should tell you where to do the turnabouts and the reverse, and then bring you back to the test centre. So at this junction here, we're going to be going straight at these lights, and then just after these lights, we're going to be turning left to I can't pronounce it, St. Finnica's Terrace. So just past Enzo's takeaway, we're turning left. You have to go quite slow, just have a really good look into this road, because just have to make sure that no car was coming down. I even went into first gear there to give myself time to look up. Now, as you can see here, it's quite a big hill. We're going to keep, now this is a very, very tricky junction. To the naked eye, you just keep going straight, but you can just barely see there's in the road there's a yield sign, so you have to make sure there's nothing coming from the right. Just to creep along and just go straight ahead. So there's 4 yield sign markings on the road. They're very, very badly marked. You can barely see them. You quite easily miss them. But for a cross junction like that, you have to give way to cars from the right. So it was kind of 4 roads of equal importance. And then we're going to go on up here, and then we're going to turn left as we come out of here. It's hard to see, but we're taking this next right turn here. So very, very strong sun today. You can see a pedestrian, so just want to make sure they're not crossing the road. She has her sunglasses on, she's not really looking. And yes, okay. And then, so another very, very narrow road. A lot of parked cars on one way, so you're quite likely to meet a lot of hazards here. Very, very sharp bend. You want to make sure you're keeping well over the left hand side in case a car is coming up in the opposite direction. Very slow, so that if you do meet something, you're slow enough to be able to deal with it. Same here, we're coming into a bend. There's cars on the right hand side, so if you meet something, it's going to be on your side of the road. So you're having to slow well down, down under 20 at the minute, just to kind of see. And again, like there's a blue car. If a car was coming, it'd be on my side. And then the size of these speed bumps, these are very, very big. So you have to kind of slow well down for them. So you'd be definitely into second gear for these. And then again, like these ones, the parked cars are on our side, so we have to kind of move out past them and just hope that a car doesn't come. If a car does come, we've got nowhere else to go to. They would have to wait for us. But before we commit to the next section, we have to go slow enough to see no cars coming. There's an arrow making sure we keep to the left hand side. So we have to just keep to the left for that telegraph pole, and then again down here there's an arrow keeping us to the left. Again, more of these speed bumps, definitely second gear for them, and then keep them to the left. And that's kind of the worst of the test route behind us now. Again, just one last big speed bump to get over, and then at the very end we're going to turn right. Turning right, this kind of brings us back in towards town, and then it's kind of your on the home stretch. Once you get to here, can be a few hazards, like there's a car, a van sticking out, so I'm having to indicate to move out past the white line a wee bit. It's okay to cross a continuous white line if you overtake an obstruction, and he was an obstruction. So you just kind of move out early for it, gives the oncoming traffic a bit of time to adjust their speed and position. So we're turning left at these lights, a bit of a funny junction, and then so we've got a green arrow anyway, checking the left mirror, and we're heading back towards the test centre area. The tester could get you to, we're just going to keep going straight much of it, but he could get you to turn right into one of these side roads like King Street, James Street, and then a left at the very end. But for this one, we're just going to follow the road on down. It's a sharp end to the right. No indication needed, just because we're following the road. You might get it to go straight that way and then turn right, because that's sometimes they do that in the opposite direction. And then left at the test centre. Sorry, left at the traffic lights here. So all in all, it's not a bad test route. There's only kind of a certain amount of roads which you can go on. So if you're familiar with the area, um, then you'll have no bother. And there's only a few kind of places to practice the reverse and the turnabout, so you can get familiar with them. Some of those back streets can be quite tricky, especially if you meet oncoming traffic. The key is just not to commit to doing anything until you're sure that it's safe. So always be at a speed that you can stop or slow down to deal with anything which might happen. So if you're going into a bend and there's a lot of parked cars, make sure you're at a speed so that if you see something, you can deal with it quite easily and safely. And then just from here, it's straight back to the test centre really. So again, more speed bumps and pedestrian crossings. Real feature off, but there's another kind of so I slowed down that time just because there was a very, very badly marked out pedestrian crossing on the road, and there was a pedestrian needed. There was a pedestrian walking up to it. He had his head down. He was potentially going straight, but I just kind of went slow just in case he turned around to go onto it. So be very, very aware of the pedestrian crossings. Just always be aware if anybody's maybe looking about to cross the road. The other feature I noticed for Mitchelstown is the road markings are terrible. Like they're very, very faint. If you were on a wet day or a very sunny day, be very easy to miss them. So be no harm getting very familiar with the area so that you're kind of aware of where these badly marked junctions are. And then from here it's just a right back off the roundabout, and then left off, and then I'm just going to end the recording here. So it would just be up here and then be a left back towards the test centre. So I'm just going to end the recording here just before the test centre itself. But yeah, hopefully within the next couple of weeks, download the Irish Test Routes app from Google Play Store or Apple Store, and we should have 5 or 6 of the test routes live on it. We just need to create it and then download it. Best luck with your test. Thank you.